What is up guys, Carotaka here, and today I'm here with another Battle Spirits deck profile. Today we'll be going over the 00 deck profile from the new CB-27 set. So it doesn't have too many new cards, but it's got enough cards and strong enough support to make this deck somewhat competitively viable again. Again, my decks are purely, Gundam based, so it's not going to include any non-Gundam cards in it. So yeah, this is just my build. If you guys have access to some better techs or some better hand traps or bursts, then you guys can run those instead. But yeah, this is my build, and you guys can use this as a skeleton to build the deck if you guys are new. So yeah, let's go on with the deck. So for the level, we're running 3 Ixia repairs. This is the new Ixia from the set, and it's got a pretty important function to act as a card that can turn into your double O's with relative ease. So all it has to do is attack, and then you can pop a unit, and you can also swap with you can either refresh the spirit or swap with a cost 8 or less double O unit, which is pretty good. But keep in mind this is a level 2 skill, so he'll have to be at 3 cores in order to activate the skill. A good thing, he's got Armed Intervention, which lets you play this card from your hand during your opponent's flash step. And it's also got the ability to use the Armed Intervention once per turn in the trash. So you can use this card to kind of play around your opponent. I use this card quite a lot. It's helped me come back from games. So yeah, Armed Intervention is actually a really strong mechanic, so please keep in mind of the cards with Armed Intervention. Especially another card we have is Gundam Kyrios. So this is one of the main batteries of your deck. You will charge your cores with this one. So it's got Armed Intervention, and then the second skill lets you put a core on it when you attack or when it's summoned. Once per turn only, so if you summon it and attack, you won't be able to get 2 cores. That would be a little bit too good. But it's got Transam, which is pretty good because when it attacks, she'll be able to turn into the Gundam Kyrios Transam, which is another card that's pretty key in the deck. So when it's played, you can put a core onto one of your CB spirits and one of your ships. So it's got another way to get battery. So ideally you want to have both of these in your hand. Or sorry, you want to have both of these in your opening hand and then find a way to trash this, because your Kyrios will need to attack and then bounce this card to your hand, and then you can play a Kyrios Transam from your trash without paying its cost. And then at the end of the turn, your Transam units will go back to your trash. So that's the main idea. Main idea, just to start off with these. Ideally, you would also want one of your Braves, which we'll go over a bit later because we're going to go over all of the spirits first. Another card that can help you charge your cores is the O Gundam Rollout color version. So this has a Mirage skill, so you can set it in your burst zone as a Mirage. And then the effect is once per turn, if you use Armed Intervention, you can put a core onto that CB unit. And then Flash is just Armed Intervention. But keep in mind, this card's Armed Intervention is only once per game. So once you use it, you can't use it again. But it's fine. We mainly want this into the into the Mirage. And then you want these in your hand. You don't want these in your hand, but you can keep one in your hand if you want to use it as an Armed Intervention kind of like a last-ditch effort to prevent one of your opponent's pop effects. And yeah, so you can use this to bait out your opponent's pop effects, and then after they pop this one, you can play your Ixia Repair or Kyrios or anything else that costs more. So basically, since this card is 1 cost and 1 cost reduction, you can Armed Intervention this out for free and use it to block or use it as pop fodder. And if you don't pop it, it's still fine. You can just use it to block. So it's pretty versatile. I quite like this card. Next, we're going to playing 1 Ixia Repair 2. This card is here only as a one-off because deck space is actually really tight. So we're running 1. But this card can come out whenever one of your CB spirits are destroyed by your opponent. You can play this card from your hand or remove zone for free. So it's pretty good. And when this card is summoned, this card cannot be destroyed by opposing effects. So it's got a little bit of protection there. And then the flash skill is a level 2 or 3 skill, and you can return a 00 from your trash to the deck bottom. And when you do, you can either refresh this card or pop one of your opponent's spirit that this card is battling. So it's pretty good. Sorry, it has to be a battering. It doesn't have to be battling this one, I believe. So it's pretty good. Next, we are running 300. This is the one that rebirths. So basically, when you play this card, your CB spirits will all be treated as the highest level, so you don't have to worry about putting too many cores in your spirits because they will be treated as the highest level. So that way you can distribute your cores a little bit less stingily. And whenever you attack or block, you can rebirth this card, as long as it's level 2, but it's fine. And then you can rebirth it into the 00 Trans Am. And when you Trans Am, you can either give it an extra symbol or refresh it. So pretty good. Of course, as a Trans Am unit, at the end of turn, this card will return to your hand instead of going to the trash. So basically, you can bounce it to your hand, and then you can, during your opponent's turn, either use it for armed intervention or save it for your next turn if you want to swap it in with Exia Repair. So yeah, running 3 of those. Next, we're also running 3 00 Risers. So 00 Riser is here as one of the main boss monsters of the deck. So whenever you play this, you can put cores on all of your CB spirits, and then if you have at least two CB spirits, all your opponent's hand will go into the open zone, which is really strong because it stops a lot of advent plays from happening. So pretty good for that. And then the second skill just lets you pop something, and you can also refresh the spirit by putting 3 of your Gundam units back to the bottom deck. So if you have a lot, and it's really easy to get a lot in your trash with this deck because you're doing a lot of discarding, you can pretty much just refresh, attack, refresh. And if this card's Brave with Setsuna, you can just do it once and then your opponent's dead if it has nothing to block with. So by the time you get into this one, you're in pretty good hands. Alright, next we are also running 3 of the Trans Am Risers. This is another win con for the deck. So basically, you can either use this, you can use the change skill even if you don't have a unit you can swap with. You can just use it to use it as a magic card and destroy your opponent's units. So you can destroy opponents at up to 10 costs of units, ignoring their Braves. So that's really strong. And after that, you can swap it with a 00 unit in refresh position, so you can use this to attack afterwards. So it's pretty good. And obviously, the second skill will give you 5 symbols if you have 5 or more cards in your open zone. So the first skill will let you, the flash skill will let you put all of you and your opponent's card into the open zone, and then if you have 5 or more, you can just kill your opponent with 1 hit. So it's pretty anime. It's like when he does his Transformizer sword in the show, he just kills everything. It's pretty cool. This deck is really flavorful. I really like it. So next, going on to the Braves, we're running 3 of the new, the second season Setsuna. On play, you can search open the top 2 cards of your deck, and then you can grab a mothership, and then you can also get a blue spirit that is CB. So it's pretty good, and then you just trash the rest. So that will help fill your trash for your 00. Next, we're running 3 Setsuna from Season 1 and 3 Tiedia from Season 1. They serve a similar purpose. They give you draw power early game. They let you draw 2 and discard 1. And they also let you play a CB 3 cost or less spirit for free from your hand. So most of the time you'll be playing Kyrios with this, but occasionally, if you need, you can also play your Exterior Repair. So it's pretty good. You're probably not going to be playing your O Gundams unless you really have to, but yeah, save your plays for these. So these will be really useful for digging out these in your hand, as well as dishing useless cards in your hand. So pretty good. Obviously, their brave skills are different. Tiedia is used to kind of soft floodgate your opponent from using cards in their hands when you attack, and the Setsuna will just give you extra symbol if you are braved with a level 2 or more spirit. I think overall, I think Tiedia is better because it gives your opponent's magic cards and XL cards +3 cost. So early game, it'll really hinder them from using cards that can stop your attack phase and whatnot. So it's pretty good. Next, we're running 3 of the new Sumeragi. So this card is pretty good. It's a Ground War Connector, so you only use it for the cost reduction for most of your units. But in addition to that, you can also use this to reuse your Braves that aren't braved onto a machine. Mainly because if you play them out and you don't dig into the pieces that you need, you can use Sumeragi as a backup to bounce these back in your hand just for a little bit of protection, because if they are on the field, they are susceptible to getting popped. And these will kind of help you, this will kind of help you stop that from happening. And then the second skill lets you pop lowest cost spirit when you play a CB Spirit or Reborn it or Switch. So she's okay, good for clearing the board if your opponent has something annoying on the field. You can use this to get rid of it. We're also running 3 Ptolemy 2s. Yeah, this is just here to help you search for your double O's, as well as a spirit that can rebirth, which is if you have this, you find something like this, you can grab both of them to your hand, because this is a rebirth spirit and this is a double O. So it's pretty good. Your Transcend Risers is also treated as double O, so you can grab those as well. And your Ptolemy can also help you protect yourself from your opponent's magic cards and bursts. So it's pretty good. Next, we're running 1 Ptolemy 1. I just call Ptolemy. This is just to help you get some draw power, and it'll help you play Gundam Meisters from your trash, which is really strong. Especially since if you mill some by accident, you can kind of fetch these back. It's limited to 1 for a reason, and yeah, we're running 1 because we can only run 1. And last but not least, we're running 2 Diamond Walls. So this is just to help you for protection, and this is a really flexible slot. I just don't have the other cards. You can run King's Command if you want. I see a lot of people running King's Command. But yeah, I'm running 2 of the Diamond Walls instead, just because I feel this card is a little bit more safe in my opinion. But I know this card has fallen out of favor in the current meta. But yeah, and the art's really nice. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully I explained this deck well enough. I am still pretty new to explaining Battle Spirit's deck profiles, but this is a really fun deck to play. It definitely feels a lot weaker than the Gundam Seed. I think the Gundam Seed stuff is pretty good, and I think it's doing pretty well in the meta right now. I'm not sure if it's just because Strike Freedom is really popular or if the deck is actually really strong. It feels really strong, but I know there are some main set decks that definitely can counter it, but I think it's actually doing a lot better than I thought, the white deck. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to support the channel, feel free to use the affiliate links down below. And that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is the Card Haku, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!